So thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm going to make sure that Slack is closed here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Great. Thanks everyone for joining us today. If this is your first time with the Firefly Partner Spotlight series, thanks for joining. And if you are returning, thank you very much for coming back. We've been doing a series of these Firefly Partner Spotlights in conjunction with our release of our recent tool guide. And today we'll be talking about double the donation. And our guest today is Julia Beltran from Double the Donation. Thanks for joining us, Julia. And I'm Kyle Curry. I'm the Director of Sales and Business Development here at Firefly Partners. I've been working with nonprofits since 2006, both for and with nonprofits. And I'm really excited about today. I've used Double the Donation at nonprofits I've been with in the past and that I've served on the board of. And so I'm excited. If you've never seen it before, you're in for a treat. And if you are unfamiliar with Firefly Partners, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to talk about us. We're a digital agency, and we help nonprofits with all of those different components of their digital ecosystem. So their tools, their website, and their strategies. And just like us here on this webinar, your supporters are living in a hyper-connected world. They're probably out there in front of their computer or on their phone, staring at a screen, doing work, or maybe they're taking a little brain break and looking at social media. But as a result of all of that hyperconnectivity, they've got really high standards for how they like technology to work for them, how they like to be engaged with. And that flows over to how they want to experience the engagement with your nonprofit. Unfortunately, there's still a really disconnected feeling in a lot of the digital experiences for nonprofits and their supporters. Both the outward-facing experiences for your supporters, maybe they are getting impersonal outreach, or maybe they're having a hard time connecting with you. And internally for your staff as well, being able to leverage the data as beneficially as possible to connect with your supporters. And as a result, a lot of the fundraising experience feels like this, which is very transactional. Here's a link to our website. Here's our donation form. You've made a gift, and that is that. But your supporters aren't transactions. They're people that are engaging with your group in a variety of different ways. And beyond that, they're the people that are standing beside you, doing the work right along with you to move your mission. And so our philosophy here at Firefly Partners is human to human digital, really building and raising up those relationships with the people on the other side of the digital that are supporting you and that are moving your mission along. And Double the Donation is a part of that ecosystem. And we're going to be seeing a demonstration of their system today. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Julia.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm going to pull up my screen here. You guys can see that okay?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so like Kyle mentioned, I'm from Double the Donation, and today we're going to be discussing gift matching. So specifically gift matching best practices. The point of this presentation is really to help you understand gift matching programs and then take advantage of them to grow revenue for your organization. So let's get started. So here's our agenda for today. I want to share with you some of the matching gift industry information to kind of orient you to these programs. And then I'm going to go ahead and discuss the best practices to take advantage of these programs. Then we're going to check out a quick demo of 360 Match Pro, which is Double the Donation's gift matching tool. And then finally, you'll have the chance to ask any questions or submit any questions. So let's get started with that. Now I'm going to go a bit into the matching gifts industry review. And as I mentioned before, this is designed to kind of give you a bit of context for the rest of the presentation and inform you a bit more about the gift matching industry. So before we get into that, I want to talk about the explanation of gift matching. Many organizations offer gift matching programs for their employees, and it's just like a part of their benefits package. So these programs are exactly what they sound like. The corporations just encourage their employees to donate to nonprofits by matching their donation amount. So for example, if someone named Jenny works for the Home Depot and she wants to submit a donation to your organization, she can very easily do that, of course, and then she can reach out to the Home Depot and tell them about her donation, and then they will send an additional donation match to that organization. So I know a lot of you might already be familiar with that process, but I think it's kind of important to clarify what exactly gift matching is before going forward. So corporate gift matching is actually a much larger industry than most people realize. In fact, well over half of Fortune 500 companies offer matching gift programs. And that, of course, means that millions and millions of individuals are eligible for these programs. So that means that if you have donors who work for any of these companies, then their donations could very easily be doubled without asking these donors for more of their own dollars. And despite this industry being so large, a lot of organizations are still really missing out on employer matching gifts. And by that, I mean they're missing out on billions and billions of dollars. There are $4 to $7 billion in matching gifts going unclaimed each year. So when you think about that in regards to your organization, it's kind of a bit shocking to know that these programs are designed for you, but you're still missing out on all of that revenue. So why is there such a large discrepancy here? Well, if your donor wants their gift matched, then they have to submit a gift matching request to their employer, meaning that after the donor makes a contribution, they would then have to submit that request, get that request approved, and then your organization would receive the matching gift. So we kind of touched on this before in our gift matching example, where our donor, Jenny, obviously would have to tell the Home Depot that she made the donation in the first place in order to get it matched. So that second step of the gift matching process is really where the problem lies. And donors aren't actually submitting their gift matching requests because they don't know about their gift matching programs. Almost 80% of match eligible donors are completely unaware of their employer's programs at all. That leaves only 7% of match eligible donors actually submitting their gift matching requests. So this lack of donor action is actually more of a lack of awareness. And even if your donors know that matching gift programs exist, they probably don't really understand all the different steps that they need to take to pursue that matching gift request. So it's not that donors don't want to submit these gift matching requests and that's why you're not getting them. It's that they don't even know it's an option in the first place. So as nonprofit organizations, it's important that you take steps to address these issues because if you do, you can end up raising a lot more money for your mission. Just think about how many donors, how many of your donors work for these large corporations, and imagine what you could accomplish if all of their donations were doubled. So there are kind of different ways to take advantage of these programs, and some, of course, work better than others. But the following methods that we've put together are proven to be the best practices to pursue matching gift donations. And so for this first strategy here, we're going to discuss educating your donors. Like I mentioned before, of course, education is really the major roadblock when it comes to receiving corporate matching gifts. So this process begins on your donation forms because that's like a very natural space to share information with your donors. It kind of gives you the perfect opportunity to communicate with them while they're still feeling very connected and committed to your cause. It also allows a space where you already have your donor's attention, you know they're really focused on what they're looking at. And once that donor knows that their donation is going to be multiplied, they're actually more likely to give a higher base donation. So there's a 51% increase that can be seen in donation amounts resulting just from mentioning matching gifts on your donation pages. So many organizations make it really easy to edit your donation forms to include this information. If you work with Firefly Partners, I'm sure you know that they can do all kinds of things with your donation forms. And of course, with the tool we're going to discuss later, you can add this information directly to donation pages. And so with all of that being said, I think it's important to kind of note that you don't want to flood your donor with too much information during the donation process. I'm sure that's a practice that most people already use. Like, you know, you have to balance providing any information while still retaining the donor and reducing friction on your forms. So making sure to keep these asks very concise and valuable so that the donors continue their efficient donation flow process is a good idea. So just to kind of summarize that, your donation forms are the perfect place to educate your donors about gift matching programs. Your donors are already there and paying attention to these forms, and they already have this conscious decision that they want to help your organization and give to your organization. So it is a really great place to provide them with this extra educational resource. So moving on to best practice number 2. This strategy involves email outreach. We recommend using communication strategies to educate donors after the donation process as well. So this is because sometimes donors don't completely read donation forms. So even if you include information about gift matching on your donation pages, donors might still not take action. This is especially true because of that awareness gap that we discussed before. If a donor skims through your donation page really quickly, there's a chance that they will think that gift matching doesn't really apply to them. These emails are a great second opportunity to help the donor learn more about gift matching. So these messages can include gift matching information, statistics, and easy links for the donor to submit their gift matching request, all kinds of great information. And the best time to send these emails is directly after the donation process. That's when donors are still in the giving mindset. They can be encouraged to take additional steps while they're still thinking about that reason they gave in the first place. Additionally, donors who read about gift matching on the donation form but didn't take action might now feel a bit more adjusted to that idea of submitting their request and take further action from that. So there's different systems you can use to automate emails. We can discuss that a bit more later as well with the 360 Match Pro tool. But depending on the size of your organization and your email outreach, you can kind of see what's the best way for you to send donors gift matching information after the donation process. So just to kind of summarize that strategy now, we recommend creating additional educational initiatives to inform donors and encourage them to take action after the donation process. And the best way to do that is really through automated email strategies. For the next strategy, we want to discuss creating a matching gift page for your website. So this web page can be super simple. It's just a spot on your website dedicated to gift matching information. I would recommend placing this page with other ways to give pages so it's easier for your donors or potential donors to find. I know I keep stressing that lack of awareness that surrounds gift matching. So having multiple avenues to educate donors can be really beneficial for receiving matching gift requests. And this page can tell visitors about gift matching and not just current donors. So it's a great strategy because almost 90% of donors are more likely to donate if they know that their gift will be matched. So your matching gift page can actually turn website visitors into donors. And additionally, donors who got matching gift information at the time of the donation might kind of want a way to access that information again and learn more about it. So if they have a trusted source of information from your organization, they can return back to that page and read more about gift matching. And then that way, instead of sending donors off of your website to check for gift matching eligibility and risk them not returning, you would have this resource right on your website and still relevant to your organization. Excuse me. So just to kind of summarize that one, we want to stress the importance of educating donors, whether they're currently in the donation process or not. And a great way to do that is through these dedicated pages on your website that explain gift matching and then give next steps for the donors to submit a request. So now that you've learned a bit more about employer gift matching, I think we should touch on Double the Donation's 360 Match Pro tool. So this quick demo is just meant to show how our tool can automate some of the gift matching best practices that we just discussed. So let's get started with that. So here's kind of a general step-by-step process of the integrated 360 Match Pro tool. So for many platforms, Firefly partners, of course, can help you integrate the 360 Match Pro tool directly into your current software system, and then you can take advantage of what happens during these steps. So it begins with the donor making a donation, and there they can identify their employer directly on the giving form, and therefore identify their potential gift matching program. Then the 360 Match Pro tool automates emails to send out relevant information about their gift matching program. And then finally, this tool tracks actionable insights on the process and stores them in your 360 Match Pro dashboard. So let's take a look at all that. So here we have an example donation page with the 360 Match Pro streamlined search tool. And if you picture your organization's own donation form, the 360 Match Pro tool would appear as this search bar that you see here. So you can then see that that tool asks donors for their company name for the purpose of gift matching. And then as the donor begins to type, a list of suggestions appear. So that drop-down menu suggestions allow your donor to easily select the name of their employer without distracting too much from the donation process. And then once your donor types in and enters the name of their employer, the 360 Match Pro tool can scan a database of different gift matching companies. And this database was created and maintained by Double the Donation, and it contains thousands and thousands of gift matching programs so that your donors can easily find their gift matching eligibility. And so the donor would enter that information, and then depending on the donation form, you can input relevant gift matching information right then and there on your donation page, or you can use this information to help later with future gift matching outreach efforts later on. So let's look at that next step. So once the donor submits their donation, the 360 Match Pro tool automates email outreach. For this example here, I kind of want to focus on the emails that will be sent to donors who did provide company information on that previous donation page. So for this example, the donor would have entered that they work for the Home Depot or wherever else, and then they would get this email that you see here. So after the donation process, the donors would receive this follow-up email, and that email would encourage them to take next steps for their gift matching request. And you can see in this mock-up, this email is personalized with the company that the donor provided from the donation page before. And so now that same donor can read more about their specific gift matching program and easily click on a link to submit their gift matching request. So this mock-up is really a very basic representation of what these emails could say. Through 360 Match Pro, you can easily configure these messages, and that way they can include specific gift matching program information, match eligibility, and really all kinds of things. So for this example, we have the Home Depot, as we have been for the whole presentation, and you can configure this email to have information about Home Depot's match eligibility, their gift matching ratios, even like relevant contact information and links, so that the donor easily has access to all that information. And of course, these emails are completely customizable. You can configure when they are sent, how they look, what sender email address they come from. It's really all completely in your power. So these kind of allow you to retain the branding of your organization and make sure that the donor recognizes the email is coming from your actual nonprofit, and encouraging them to do gift matching. And so next I want to talk about the donors who do not enter their employer information on that donation form. So if the donor was going through and saw that gift matching section that we went over before and they just didn't enter anything, they would still receive an automated message after the donation process. So I want to emphasize that that means that all donors would be receiving these follow-up emails regardless of what they do on the donation form. So this is important because many donors who don't enter their employer are still eligible for a gift matching program. Like we talked about before, they're simply unaware of gift matching programs and how that might apply to them. So sending this email is able to really help 360 Match Pro identify their employer and still then provide them with the information that they need to submit a gift matching request. And this step is really important because it gives donors a second chance to learn about gift matching and then submit their request to completion. And of course, these emails are still customizable, so you have all those benefits that come with creating a branded, controlled email outreach system. This entire gift matching process produces really valuable insights about your donors. The 360 Match Pro dashboard stores all of this information so you can really easily access it in an easy to read space. So this donor information might include the name of the company that your donor works for and thus their gift matching program, their gift matching status, and then also their email activity. So to kind of touch on each one of those, the gift matching status shows whether the donor is eligible for a gift match, and then whether or not they actually submitted one. So you can actually access that information from the 360 Match Pro dashboard. And then as for email activity, you can schedule and view how many emails have been sent to a donor and then whether or not they've been opened. So that's a great way to track down individual gifts and create reports based on their gift matching process. And then you can use this information also to plan future outreach initiatives and kind of communicate with your donors in a personalized way. So just to recap on that, the 360 Match Pro automation handles your gift matching tracking, so you can really reallocate your time to not have to focus on those things. You can focus more on the needs of your organization or other things that you have to do for that. So the dashboard really does a lot of the outreach and insight planning work that can be very time consuming, but is still very valuable when you have fundraising strategies like these, excuse me. So just as a quick conclusion, I want to thank you guys for learning more about gift matching programs. It really can be such a valuable strategy for your organization to increase its revenue. And all it really takes is donor education. Most donors obviously really want to be giving money to your organization. And so this opportunity for them to give more without actually spending any of their money is a really great way for, excuse me, for them to drive revenue here. So we really hope that you'll add gift matching information to your donation pages, pledge pages, email outreach, and websites, and Firefly can definitely help you take advantage of that. So we enjoyed creating this presentation for you, and I can answer any questions you have now or through email, whatever works.
Great. Thank you so much, Julia. I really appreciated the demonstration. If anyone has any questions, please go ahead and send them in the chat box. I have a question, actually. So as much as we all, I think, don't want to admit that it's coming, end of year fundraising is going to be here before any of us know it. Do you have any statistics or details on how a program like Double the Donation can impact end of year fundraising totals?
Yeah, definitely. So we have actually very specific statistics that we can send out after based on the size of your organization. Obviously that can vary a bit based on who's donating to you and what companies they work for and everything like that. If you have any gift matching revenue already, it's usually expected to double or triple that revenue because of that automated process. So it's definitely a great way. Like I said before, there are really millions of individuals working for these companies. So if you picture their donations doubled, it's very large.
How long do you think it usually takes for an organization to get up and running on Double the Donation and get their system set up to be ready?
So it usually only takes 1 to 2 days for that, especially if they have help with people like you, being able to get them set up on their platform. It's very easy, just a couple days.
Fantastic. Anything else that you'd like to share?
That's a good question. Hannah, do you have any questions that you would like to ask?
No, I think the most common questions that Double the Donation gets is about our database, about where those company program information, where it comes from, how it's updated, and how recently or how frequently it's updated. So maybe to head off potential questions about that, we could address that.
Yeah, definitely. So it is updated very frequently. We have different team members going in and being able to make sure that information is up to date and accurate. And we pull that information from a lot of different sources. We have different peers in the industry, and we have there are like gift matching third parties that work with organizations that we talk to get data from. So it is updated very often. It has pretty much most, if not all, of the gift matching programs that are publicized in there. So yeah, it's a very extensive database that people are able to pull from.
Fantastic. And does it, can you remind me, does that push into other databases as well? Does data flow from 360 Match Pro into other databases of record?
Oh yeah, it can definitely be customized to be able to do things like that depending on your platform. You can have that information coming in so that you can track it in one place.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. And as you mentioned a couple of times, thank you for doing that. Firefly Partners can absolutely help with your implementation of Double the Donation. Some tools just have native integrations, and that's fantastic. But others do require a little bit of coding. So if you've got platforms like Engaging Networks or Every Action or Blackbaud products like Luminate Online, Firefly Partners can absolutely help you get set up with Double the Donation on your forms. And we'd love to do that. We do have a couple of additional partner series events that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. So you can visit the bit.ly address that should be showing on your screen to find out more and to register. And if you haven't yet seen our digital tool guide, you can go to our website and download that. It looks at a lot of different tools in the nonprofit space and compares them. So really great if you are thinking about maybe making some switches here in the next 12 months. So with that, I will thank you again. Thanks to Double the Donation, and thanks to our attendees, and we hope to see you again soon.